Good afternoon, ladies. This is my end of year presentation. I'm Stacy, if there's anybody who does not know me, or if anybody who watches this later. I'm a second year TLS. So I will begin with what I've done from the 2025 fall semester to 2026 spring semester. All right, so I wanted to begin with last summer. So this past summer, I worked with Project Transformation, which is a nonprofit org who works with children in underprivileged communities to work on literacy and education. I absolutely loved working with them. At first, it was kind of a long commitment since it is all summer. It began pretty much right after I moved out of the dorms and I went straight to Dallas. So I repacked all my stuff again. And then it would be ending August 3rd, roughly. So the beginning would be training. I had to go to extra training because I was going to be in a leadership position, which I was very thankful that I was able to get. So I went straight up there. And then unfortunately, during the first week of my training, my grandfather passed. But they worked with me really well, and I was able to go down, be with my family for 2, 3 days, not a long time, but they let me come back up, finish my training, and then begin the program. I actually worked with high school students, so I do have some pictures of the high school students on the side and then one in the middle. But to be honest, the high school students were kind of a few. So I ended up working a lot with the younger students as well, mostly elementary because I absolutely fell in love with them. I thought that I was gonna be there to help them, but I feel like they honestly transformed me as a person. It was just a very, very rewarding program, and I recommend it to anybody who's interested. I sent it to TLS, and I'd be happy to share it with anybody else because it truly was really good, and it was paid as well, so it was a great program. Moving on. Okay, so moving on to academics, this is just kind of a little screenshot of my degree works currently, but I do expect my GPA to go up, thankfully. One of my SMART goals was again to maintain all A's throughout this semester, which it looks like I will be doing. And then I was able to do that as well in the fall semester, which I'm very proud of. I really, really loved my classes in the fall semester, so it really wasn't too hard. I mean, yeah, I do have a lot of classes and I take a lot of hours, but I really love my majors, so it ends up being really rewarding. Um, and like I said, I will probably be getting all A's this semester, so hopefully that GPA will go up a little bit more. Next is professional development. So number one, I have a picture up there with my officer recruiters for the Marines. So I am a Marine Officer Candidate School applicant, and then I was selected to go this summer in January. So I'm very thankful for that. It wasn't too long of an application process just because I got kind of streamlined through it just because I already had my academics. I already had my SAT, ACT. And then my physical fitness was already pretty high. I did keep improving throughout it. And then once I went up to boards, I had a really good score. So overall, that's what they look at, academics, fitness, and then they look at leadership as well, which I also have a lot of good things compared to some of the other candidates, especially with TLS, which is a huge part of my leadership and professional development. So that was really great. So I will be shipping off May 17th. And then I actually just got back from mini OCS this past weekend. I just got back yesterday. And so if I look a little tired, excuse that. But it was great. It was a long weekend, long but also quick. They kind of gave us a little taste of what OCS will be like, which was it was cool. I'm excited. I'm nervous but excited. So I'll be over there for 6 weeks this summer. And then next is my Haku program. So I'm in the Voces Nuevas cohort for the Hispanic Association of Colleges and Universities. It's been really, really great. I got selected for it for this, my term lasts this whole year. I've been working on leadership skills, civic skills, I've been learning about the legislative process, about politics in higher education, and how to give that information to other students, especially in HSIs like we are. So that's been really great. That was a picture from my presentation that I gave about 3 weeks ago. It wasn't a super high turnout, but it was a pretty well turnout for how quick it kind of went. And then I also gave that information to others who were interested in it, who reached out later. And that's been really great. I'll be finishing that this year, and then I'll probably be doing another Haku program next year, just depending on what I get. And then third, the HCSAB board, so Honors College Student Advisory Board, that is a 2-year term. So I began that this year, and it just started this year. So I was part of kind of the inaugural part of it. And then that's the cohort up there. We will have new people coming in next year because we just had an application process, but that's been really great. I'm on the marketing committee for it. So we kind of work on outreach to students. We've been working on interviews with honors college students that we just posted our first one actually with Devin, who is actually one of our members, but we've already gotten some other interviews and that's been really great. Right now I'm working as secretary of it. I was gonna be the chair for it, but I just had too many things going on. So they asked me to do that next semester probably. So that was kind of my third thing that I've been doing all year. And then number four, I don't have a picture, but Dr. Marie Tillier, she's kind of become my mentor this year. So she was my professor last semester for one of my classes, one of my criminal justice research classes. And she was an absolutely amazing professor. I really connected with her. And that's kind of why we became a mentor and mentee. She actually reached out to me because she wanted to nominate me for the master's program, but I'm not able to do that since I'm going to be going straight into the Marines. But she gave me the option to if I ever want to come back and do that. She said reach out to her. And I've been talking to her because she let me know about legislative fellows, which of course I already knew about, which I won't be doing just because I talked to George about it as well. And we think that Archer will be a better fit for my schedule. And also for that, you'd have to be for the legislative session, which I'll have to leave to OCS the next summer as well. So that wasn't going to work out, but she has been letting me know about that and other opportunities as well. She actually nominated me for the HCAP Most Outstanding Student Award, but I unfortunately did not get it. I was going to add that on here, but it just didn't work out with this, so I thought I'd just mention it. But I think it's always great to try something, even if you don't get it. And then I didn't add this on here, but I did the NASA Discovery by Design Challenge here at UTSA, which I kind of did it just for fun. It has nothing really to do with my major. We were kind of doing kind of like a marketing thing for the Artemis 2 program, which I did, and I actually got second place. So that was really cool. We were gonna go to NASA and kind of get a tour and stuff like that and be recognized, but I didn't get to because I had an exam that day. So moving on, I'll skip that. Okay, conferences. So these are the two conferences that I had the opportunity to attend. I do believe they were my first conferences with being here at UTSA. The Haku one was for my Voces Nuevas program, so they sponsored me to go to that, and it was a really cool thing to get to go to. It was about 4 days over there in Aurora, Colorado, and we got some leadership stuff. We got to hear some talks from different corporate companies. There was a job fair, there was an internship fair, study abroad fair. So I got to meet a lot of people, and I didn't necessarily find anything that had to do with my major, but I did get to network a lot and meet a lot of people and even just hear about new opportunities that I didn't really know about. That's actually a girl that I met there, but I don't know, my LinkedIn probably went up about 50 that weekend. So it was pretty cool. And we got to hear about the HSI stuff that's going on up in politics and see how we can help, see how we can advocate for it, which is cool because obviously UTSA is an HSI. And then Camp USPA. So we got to go to that. I got to go with Alina to represent TLS, which was honestly really cool because we got to bond a lot with the Tops and the Terrys. There's some pictures up there, but it was a really, really cool experience. There we got to probably network even more because we were just with a bunch of scholars. So everybody was talking about different programs, and we got to bring a lot back so that we could implement it to our program. So that was a really cool opportunity. Okay, next is Rho Delta Chi. So, I never thought of myself as a sorority girl like at all, but I kind of got roped into this last semester in the fall. I wasn't planning to do this at all. I don't think that I have the time for it either, but I did get roped into it. I went through the process. It was stressful. I had a lot going on in the fall. But I ended up crossing just because I'm very hard-headed, and if I start something, I have to finish it. So I did, and I did let them know that I have a very busy schedule and that it wasn't gonna necessarily be my priority, but they were okay with it. They wanted me to join. They wanted me to go through the process, and I really did join because of my big sister. She was the one who really got me into it. She was okay with me if I ever wanted to drop for some reason or if I had other priorities. She's just a really, really cool girl. She's in the now in the master's program. She graduated and moved on to the master's program for public health. So that's really cool. She's a really smart girl, so I've loved having her as my mentor in that capacity, but also in like the academic setting. And then I got to meet other people as well. My pledge sisters, and then I have a P mom and P dad, which are kind of like other mentors in a way. I got a big brother from a frat, but at the end of the day, they were just kind of relationships that I built, and they're okay with me not necessarily being completely active in it, but still getting to be with them and spending time with them. So that's kind of cool. Very out of my comfort zone, but it's cool to kind of get out of your comfort zone sometimes. So moving on. TLS service. So for TLS service, I kind of played a bigger role for that in the fall. It just kind of worked out that way. We didn't plan it, but I was more involved with service in the fall. But we had some really great events. We kept doing events with Ferrari Kid, who we met last year, and that was a really cool experience. So now we're kind of established with them, and we have a relationship that hopefully can continue on beyond whenever my cohort graduates. And then we had a few other ones that were really cool. We had some this semester as well. It's also really cool that we have more people. So now we can just kind of push out an event, even if it's last minute, and people will show up where last year we could not do that because there was only a few of us and we wouldn't get a turnout. But that's been really cool. And then TLS socials. We've also had some really great socials. Like I said, since we have more people now, we get a bigger turnout, and that's been great. We've had a social, I think, almost every single week, which has been really cool. I've also played a big role in that just because I like planning socials. I think it's fun. And we have a few more left in the semester, and probably our biggest one this Saturday, we have TLS Field Day. So I'm very excited for that. Moving on. TLS social media marketing. So I started our Instagram about a year ago, almost exactly a year ago, I think. And we've had a lot of growth. These are just some screenshots from like our more recent posts. Like it says 21,000 views in the last 30 days. And then those are the views for some of our posts. We've had a lot of growth where you're able to see it. And last year when we started, it was really small. We really didn't have a lot of posts. We were just starting out, and now it's grown a lot, which kind of shows how our program is growing as well. And I'm very excited for it. And I'm also very excited to kind of hand that off to Safira, who will be kind of continuing what I started, and she's gonna be working mainly on it, but we'll help her whenever she needs it. And I'm excited for that. I think she's gonna do a great job. Okay, so what's next for TLS? I did kind of want to mention, of course, me and Alina started in the capacity of leads our first year, and then this year we added Jevin, which I will say like at first it was a little different just because Alina and I are best friends, so it was very easy to communicate, and there wasn't really like it was very easy. We were roommates, so it wasn't really of kind of like a professional setting. We would just talk about what we wanted to do, work on, get input from our cohort, and it wasn't really a big deal. Then we added Jevin, and it was like another person, but it worked out, honestly. Jevin has been great, and I'm really, really grateful for him. He's super easy to work with, and he's helped us a lot, which I think we definitely needed. And now our board is growing even more. We have three new officers for next year, so I'm very excited for it, and we're gonna officially be in org, so that's gonna be really great. Yeah, I'm very excited. I think we're gonna have a lot of bigger things going on. We're gonna have a bigger program, more people coming in. So I think it's just great things coming for TLS. Next, my littles. So we have Ale here. She's one of my littles. And then my other little is Luis. So I'm very, very grateful for them. I absolutely love them. I think they're some of the more shy people in the cohort, which is kind of the opposite of how I am in the TLS setting. But it worked out. I think that I'm helping get them out of their comfort zones, both of them. I'm the only one who got twins, so I got two people, but it's been great. We kind of have our little family. And I just wanted to include this because they've become a big part of my life, I guess. I talk to them pretty much every single day. Um, and yeah, I love them. We've had some hangouts lately and it's been really fun. And I want to kind of implement that into the whole program because I know not everybody is that close to their littles and I want them to be able to have this same relationship that I have with mine. So I'm very excited for Ashley to be in that role of new member director so that she can help with the big and little process and kind of have the same thing going where we can keep building mentorship and having a little family within TLS. All right. Next, just friends and fun. So we see Alina up there also. We see a few other people, like I said, the girls from the sorority, my best friend from home. Just a few things that we've done this semester. A football game. I think last year I went to more football games. I didn't really go to that many this year, but that was fun as well. Alina dyed my hair in the dorm, so that was a cool experience. Alina's birthday, just a few other things up there, and just a few things that we've done. It's been a fun year. I have been really busy, so I haven't necessarily focused on hanging out with my friends all the time, but I love all my friends. I have kind of a close circle, so I really do appreciate all of them, and they all support me in any way that they can. And then traveling, I did travel a lot this past year. In the summer, I went to Australia, which was a great experience. All of my trips I do with my family. That's kind of why I didn't do a whole slide for them because I'm with them a lot. But I absolutely love my family. They support me in everything too, in my academics, in my professional development. Anything that they can do to help me, they do. So I really love them for that. But yeah, traveling, it's been expensive. But I've been paying that, and I've also had some help from my parents and stuff. But I went to Australia, and then from there, I went to a few islands around Australia on a cruise. I also got to go to Colombia, Costa Rica, Panama. I saw the Panama Canal, which was a really cool experience. Um, I think those are the main trips I've done. I kind of go on cruises and then I get to experience a lot of different places, but I love traveling and it's been really cool. And then I'll be traveling this summer as well. I'll be going to Athens and then from there I'll go on a cruise to the Greek Isles and then I'll go back to Venice, from Venice to Milan and then Switzerland. So that'll be a really cool experience. It's probably going to be my most expensive trip, but it's okay. I'm very excited for it. And then next, what's next for me? I did apply to the Texas Civic Ambassadors program, so we'll see what happens with that. Hopefully, I'll get to do that and be in that role for the next year. And then independent research study, I'll be doing that with Dr. Tillier as well. We're kind of coordinating when to do it just because my advisor thinks I should do it before I do my internship. We'll see. Archer, I will be applying for that this next upcoming application. I've talked to George. We think it's going to be a really good thing for me to do and to add to I guess my resume into what I've done. And I'm very excited for that. Hopefully I get it. And then continuing HCSAB. So I'll also be in that role for the next year. Maybe I'll switch committees. I'm not sure yet. Maybe the mentorship committee would be a cool one to be in. So we'll kind of see. And then this summer, I'll be going to OCS for 6 weeks. I'll ship May 17th, and then I'll graduate hopefully June 25th, which will be kind of a lot, but I'm excited.
Maybe be a quick time.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Any questions?
All right, well, good job, Stacy.
Thank
I'm
you.
always impressed at how much you're doing.
Yeah.
I would also though caution you that sometimes when you do that much, there can be a perception that there's not as strong of a commitment
Hmm.
to any one thing. But it's very impressive what you
Thank you.
what you do. So keep up the good work, and I will also just say, having now grown multiple scholar programs from the beginning, to be able to see what you and the other Texas Leadership Scholars are doing is really a joy for me, because I think it's just going very well in the right way. So good job on that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Any other questions? No?
Other comments?
No.
I would say, what was the hardest thing you did like this past year and the easiest? Like what you felt like it was kind of a breeze through, and what was something that you kind of like would regret, but you're happy with it?
A breeze. I wouldn't say anything was necessarily easy, but the Haku program had a lot of support. So I feel like that was kind of an easier role just because there was a lot of like checking in on us, making sure we're doing the right thing, which I think maybe some of the other people needed it. I tried to stay on top of it because we have like modules and stuff we have to complete, but maybe that was one of the easier things. It's about to finish, so we have like our last few modules. Um, I would say that's it. There was only 50 of us in the program that were selected in the whole nation, so you'd think maybe some people would be a little more on top of their game, but I think they weren't. So that's why they were very much like checking in and making sure everybody was on it. So maybe that one. And then hardest, hmm. Honestly, it sounds a little silly, but the sorority was a little bit difficult just because they try to put a lot of stress on you. Even though I guess now this semester I'm good because I told them what my priorities were and they're okay with that. But last semester, since you do have to cross, that was a little bit difficult. And then of course, preparing for OCS. That's probably the most difficult thing because you have to be on top of academics, leadership, and physical fitness. So it takes up a lot of time. It's not a 1 day thing, it's every single day that you have to be consistent. So I would say that was kind of the hardest thing. Yeah.
Well, very good job.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure to see what you. Our next presentation starts at 3:30.